Finding, getting, and keeping a job can be challenging for many people, including those with intellectual or physical disabilities. But a couple of local organizations want employers to see the benefits in hiring people with disabilities. LiveWorkPlay, an organization that supports people with intellectual disabilities, is teaming up with the Ottawa Rotary Club to make that case this evening. They're hosting a presentation called Building a New Workforce. Jen Bosworth is the manager of employment support at LiveWorkPlay. Jennifer Harris is a LiveWorkPlay member. Both are with me in the studio. Hello there.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm fine. So, Jen, I'm going to start with you. Why does hiring people with disabilities make good business sense?
Well, a lot of people, I think hiring people, like you're probably sort of alluding to, with disabilities is a good thing for charity. But in terms of good business sense, there's a wide variety of reasons. One of which being usually increased employee retention. So typically, people that have a disability, it takes them a lot longer to find a job. And when they do find a job, they try to stick with that job because it's a difficult place out there. It's hard for anyone right now to find a job in the market that we have, but for people with disabilities, it's really tough to break down those attitudes and those barriers. So that's a huge one. So in terms of, well, Jennifer will speak to her job, but a lot of times employers are looking for people that will be long-term and staying with their position. For example, Tim Hortons, the cost of employee turnover at Tim Hortons is around $5,000 a person when you take into account uniforms, training, all of that. So a lot of times people might not stick at Tim Hortons for a really long time. People with disabilities, oftentimes, not everyone, but oftentimes when they do find a job, they really will stick with it. Other things really to consider for businesses, really having a business that reflects the diversity of the world that we live in now. People with disabilities are consumers. They go out and do their shopping. They can make decisions about where they want to shop and which kind of businesses they want to support. So if you have a business that really has clients and has employees that sort of match up, you're better able to meet their needs.
Jennifer, from your perspective, are you more likely to head into a store where, for instance, you see people with disabilities behind the counter, or?
I like to see a diverse society. Like, I like to see a whole bunch of people that have problems in the labor market behind the counter.
How long have you been part of LiveWorkPlay?
1998.
1998.
So
okay, yeah. I would take me a moment. Since 1998. So you've got a new job now. What are you doing?
Yes, I am receptionist in what they call the Code Factory. It's a
small owner-operated business.
Yes.
It's right down the street from the studio right now. It's on Queen Street.
Jennifer, how difficult has it been for you to get work in the past?
Very difficult. It's been really challenging. I normally stick with volunteer work because, like, it doesn't seem as challenging as paid stuff. But it really has been challenging to find stuff that I like to do.
Can you talk to me a little bit about the challenges? What's been challenging so far?
Just having the self-esteem and self-confidence to go after what you want. And when people say you can't do stuff, I just say, why not? I can do what anybody else can. I just might have to do it a bit differently.
Yeah. A lot of what we do is matching employers up with employees that are a good fit. So in Jennifer's case, Jennifer has awesome skills to bring to the table, but a lot of, I guess, employer attitudes and stereotypes might get in the way. So what we do at LiveWorkPlay is try to make employment partnerships where we can work with really great employers and find out what they're looking for and what their needs are, and basically look at our talent pool and see who we have and who's available and ready and willing to work, and try to make the connection. And then we come in and perhaps help with job coaching or long-term job support. And if we can't make a match because we don't have someone that's a good fit, then we would try to refer that employer to a different service provider in Ottawa that works with people with other types of disabilities.
So, for instance, with Jennifer, what were some of the things that you had to convince an employer to say, look, we've got this amazing employee here, but ... What is that process like?
Well, for instance, in Jennifer's case, we had a connection with the Code Factory already. We had met the owner-operator, Ian Graham. He was a fantastic guy. He sort of came to one of our Live Work Play events and got to sort of know about Live Work Play and who we support. And from there, he kind of identified himself. I have a need in my business. It's really difficult for me to be able to take care of my business all the time by myself. I need someone to come in and do that reception work. Right away, we instantly thought of Jennifer because we've worked with Jennifer for a long time and we have a really good relationship with her, so we know her skills and we know her abilities. So for Ian, it wasn't perhaps such a hard sell because he was already sort of on board with the process. But I think really for us, it's convincing employers in, I guess, two things really, is convincing them that yes, people with disabilities, they can do all different kinds of jobs, not just people with intellectual disabilities, but any type of disability. Really, you need to give them a chance before you shut the door in their face. And then in terms of intellectual disabilities, oftentimes we're saying to employers, why don't you customize a position? You've always done things this way. You could do it more effectively and more efficiently if you tried doing things a little bit differently.
Jennifer, are there ways that you find you do your job differently than other people would?
I don't know. I've only been at the job 2 weeks. So
we're in the honeymoon stage still.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And Jennifer, I understand you're going to be introducing one of tonight's special guests.
I'm going to be introducing the Lieutenant Governor of Ontario.
So how are you feeling about that?
I'm kind of feeling pretty good, yeah.
Yeah.
It's an exciting moment, I think. Jen, who else is going to be speaking at tonight's presentation?
For sure. So tonight is really an opportunity for employers of any size to really just come out and hear a really good message on how they can look at human resources in a different way. So basically, we have the Lieutenant Governor of Ontario, the Honourable David C. Onley, who's coming to speak. He himself has a physical disability, and so he's sort of made this a legacy of his time in office. So he's coming to speak. We have Joe Dale and Mark Wafer out of Toronto who are heading up the Rotary at Work project, which is really just a province-wide initiative to help employers hear more about the business case for why you should hire people with disabilities. And then we also are fortunate enough to have the Deputy Mayor Eli El-Chantiry come in and make some remarks as well. And it's a great networking opportunity. There will be several different service providers besides Live Work Play there. So if an employer wants to, or a potential employer just wants to hear more about our services, they can kind of wander the room and come and chat with us and find out more information.
And I've been basically on board with every project Live Work Play has thrown at me, so to speak.
So you're there as an expert as well.
She really is.
Yeah. Listen, both of you, thank you so much for coming in today and for talking about this. I really appreciate your time.
Great.
Thank you very much.
Thanks very much.
Jen Bosworth is the Manager of Employment Support at Live Work Play. Jennifer Harris is a Live Work Play member. And Building a New Workforce takes place tonight at the Travelodge Hotel. That's at 1376 Carling Avenue. And the presentation starts at 5 o'clock.